Or maybe he was just making a play. Look at us. So what you want to do when you're playing nine-handed, you want to play somewhat conservative. You want to play tight, aggressive. A six-handed, you're pretty much playing the same game, but your opening range would be a lot wider. Here, let's see it. And this one, we got a limper under the gun. We got the guy, that same guy that just raised the button. Oh, I'm sorry, just flatted on the button. This guy flat called. Him being golly, it's an iffish between three betting or between raising and just checking. I decide to check. This is actually not bad of a flop. You know, we can represent the tail whenever the board is paired. Whenever the flop is paired, firing at that flop would not be a bad idea because chances are that somebody does not have a 10. But we're playing out of position, so we're just going to check and see if we got some kind of showdown value with an ace, and hoping the board will pair it up and we'll have a two pair with an ace kicker. Let's see. Here's 6-9. I'm gonna raise 6-9, and here I'm going to bet for the value. If anything, there would be a split pot. Ooh, yeah, 8. And of course, the guy from the big blind and the button calls me. I'm checking. And if he bets, I'm just going to give this up. He can pretty much have anything. You know, I did not pick up any kind of draws. I could peel one off, or I could represent the queen, but that's not something I'm going to do. Now here's an interesting situation right here. We have a tied player that's raising, and you know his range. You know that he's raising with the aces. He's raising with the ace king. Yeah, I feel like making a 3-bet here would either get him to fold or at least to call, and then we can play after the flop. So here the king peels off. This is not a really good flop for us, but here I'm going to represent the king, and if he does have a king, he will call, and if he does call, I'm going to shut down. But I see him doing the same thing with jacks or ace queen or things like that. So king, see, so he's just 3-bet me, or so that's a fold. We tried, didn't work. That's a fold. So as you can see, you know, with his range, you know, he might have had a sad. He might have had 2 kings. He might have had ace king, and put me on the king queen of some sort, or queen or king 10. Here against this Fisher player, I'm definitely raising on the button because I do have position, and I can probably outplay him after the flop. Even though ace-6 is not a great hand, but we do have advantage. Number one, we have a little bit better skills than he does. Number two, we of course. Great flop, wrong suit. I'm just gonna give this up. I'm not gonna go any further with this. I can't fire a continuation, but I'm not gonna go any further with this. We'll just pick a better spot. Here, ace, queen of clubs. Easy E in the house. Come on, easy. Okay. Now, easy is raising $1. So, just with an observation and that knowing the type of player that he is, I have ace queen. Could he do it with ace king? No. Possibly. But that just seems to me like this is, I have pocket jacks kind of bad. So I'm going to peel and see the flop with that. And of course we got 3-bet. Now if this guy's probably gonna fold. If this guy calls, I'm going to call in position. If this guy folds, I'm folding. See, that's a tough spot, and I'm not getting the good odds. Let's see. Look at the small sample. How often I get 3-bets? He 3-bets only 18%. How often he folds to 4-bet? Not very often. I'm gonna call and I'm gonna fold to a bet on the turn. Well, this is kind of interesting. He's betting $6, so I think that the kings would be in his range. If he's got kings, he's got a bigger full house than I do. If he's got aces, he's got me completely crushed. So I'll check back. I don't see any kind of reason to. I don't see any kind of reason to bet, but I'm pretty sure he's got the better full house, and he's putting man the queen. And I'm just gonna check this one back. There's just no reason whatsoever to bet. But he had ace king, which is a pretty bad part. Pretty bad play on his part. You know, brazen with the. Let's see, I had that one. We got a razor, then I just flat called, and he makes it 375 from the small blind. That, I mean, I don't hate that play, but that continuation bet, you don't always have to do the continuation bet. You know, continuation bets are way overrated. He could have just easily went ahead and checked it and see if he can go to showdown and hoping that he's not going to invest a lot of money in the pot with the ace high, especially that he missed everything on the flop. Pocket fives. Here we're going to open and cut off. I have a very small sample on this guy's hand. This guy, of course, pretty fishy. He's a caller. I mean, he's ready to go with any hand. I'm gonna see bet here. If he calls, I might have to give that up. There's only a few hands that beat me, and this guy can have anything. I definitely don't put him on a jack, because if he did have a jack, he would have bet the jack. And as loose as he is, even if he had a 7, he still would have probably called to see if we can catch another 7. But a lot of guys in these levels like to call just to see the flop.